Hello and welcome to the podcast called The FARMacist, where I dig into agriculture. My background is agronomy. I have over 30 years experience. I am also a farmer. I have lived in most of the state of Minnesota for my entire career and just wanted to connect agriculture. If you have questions as a farmer, if you have questions as a consumer, please reach out to The FARMacist, and that is why I have this podcast. I am here to educate and to just dig into agriculture in general. So with that, let's get started. Let's dig in. Hello and welcome to this episode of The FARMacist, Digging into Agriculture. I am your host, the FARMERette. And you're probably wondering, what the heck is a FARMerette? Like, where did you get that name from? So I'm going to do a little introduction of myself because you're going to be listening to these future podcasts, and I want you to understand who you're listening to. And just pretend I'm sitting in the truck seat beside you, or in the farm seat, in that banker seat, what I call them, in the tractors and combines. And I just want you guys to have, if you have any questions in general about agriculture, things you're finding, things you want more education about to the general public, message me under my handle. My CB handle is the FARMERette. Like I stated, it is a female farmer. It's kind of, think about the Bachelorette or Smurfette. That's you know how I got that? I started working in agriculture when I was like 15, 16 years old in a retail setting at an agronomy co-op in my local town. And I think my dad was scared shitless. He's like, where are you going to be working with all my buddies? You know, that type of thing. I mean, honestly, he tells me now he's 86. He's proud of me for doing that. And it was a time when there were no females in agriculture. So to have a female come out, especially a little blonde, come out and tell you what to put on your crops was like, what? But, you know, that was the most valuable lesson before I went to college for agronomy that I learned. And I loved the farmers, and I think they loved me. I really want what's best for each and every farmer out here. And it is my passion. I love plants. That's why I'm going with the FARMacist. It's a lot of chemistry, a lot of biology, a lot of science in what we do as farmers. And we produce food. We're not in the entertainment business. We are actually producing something that people can use and they need. And I always thought that was backwards. Like, why are all these entertainment people like making all this money, and then guys that produce and women that produce things don't? It's backwards. Maybe someday in like 100 years it'll be reversed. But anyway, that's my thought of the day from the FARMerette. A little more tidbit about me. I like to say I started when I was 5, but the math doesn't add up. So I am seasoned. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I love agronomy, like I stated. I farm. If you're ever traveling along I-90 in southern Minnesota, you're going to hear a lot of O's because I am from Minnesota. I'm not going to say that there field there. I won't say that, okay, guys? But if you are in southern Minnesota and you're stop at the Green Giant. That's my area. I mean, when I moved here, I was like, what in the world? Why are these guys no-tilling in this soil? This is like high organic, heavy tilth ground, great producing ground, and they're no-tilling soybeans. It's like, isn't that something that guys just do in South Dakota and Nebraska? And, you know, we were trying to stop erosion. And I tell you what, I'm going to get one of these guys on this podcast because they've been doing it for over 20 years. And I think everyone's trying to figure out how to no-till. And there's some tricks to it. And yeah, it doesn't look pretty for the first year or two, but over 20 years, it is amazing what it can do. So anyway, that's a little bit where I live. And let's see, some more fun facts. I actually, if you follow me on Twitter, I do, or I'm on TikTok too. I'm not really a big TikTok fan, but I'm learning. But if you do follow me on Twitter, you'll see me there. I do play organ. I'm very musical. My dad, who got me into agriculture, he also told me, you know, when you're 50, you're not going to be throwing a volleyball around, or you're not going to be throwing a basketball around. So get in the tractor, play piano, play organ, and that's what I do. So my dad's pretty wise. He's 86, still on the farm, and always love. Everyone knows dads are just brilliant. Everyone's got the best dad, but I do have the best dad. But anyway, that's a little bit about me. So I am a farm girl. Like I said, I still connect with a lot of my agronomy buddies. It's like I said, it's a small world. And I just bringing you this podcast because I do want to connect agriculture. I want to keep these short, sweet, to the point, not wasting your time, but still educating. So there may be a lot of podcasts, there may not. We'll see how this goes. You can listen to me if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. But this is for you. This is for my audience. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. What do you want to learn out there? There's a lot of things, a lot of acronyms floating around like ESG and CI and CI score and just there's so many things I think I could talk on. And they're all wrapped in my head, and I'm like, I just got to get this stuff out here for you. So with that, that's a little bit about me. I can't really think. Oh, I did. When I was in college, I wish I would have come up with this concept, but I did live in my fish house. I do live in Minnesota. I love to ice fish. And a guy mentioned this to me on Twitter, one of my agronomy colleagues from way back when, and he's like, oh yeah, I gotta talk about the fish house. I'm like, yeah, that is part of me. I love fishing. I'm an outdoors girl. I love to ice fish specifically. We didn't get the winter for it, but I did live in my fish house in college, and the guys are like, you live where? And I'm like, I live in a fish house, and it's like a tiny home. And I'm like, why? I'm just kicking myself. Why did I not come up with the concept of the tiny home? I could be sitting on a beach somewhere right now, but I didn't. And I mean, it was one of those things. I was working a couple jobs, going to college, paying my way through college, and just got tired of the roommates and moved out and started living by myself in a fish house. The biggest pain in the butt was hauling the tanks for the propane, but other than that, I liked it. So you don't need a lot in life. You just need good friends and a passion of your job and what you do. And that's what I do. I farm. My background is agriculture. I've worked for a lot of different chem companies through the years. I've got a lot of experience working with different farmers, different crops, sugar beets, sweet corn, peas, navy beans, especially corn and soybeans. But that's a little bit about the FARMERette. Hopefully you listen to my podcast coming forward. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. I don't care. But at least it's here for you. And if you guys reach out to me, direct message me on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, however, reach out, direct message, and give me some topics of what you guys want to hear about out here. And I think this will be fun. So thank you for listening. And everyone, let's just dig into agriculture and educate. That's the main focus of the FARMacist Podcast. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you in future episodes.